This is your no bullshit guide to a happier life. Quick, but not necessarily easy tips to help you to squeeze every last drop of enjoyment out of your business and your life. My name is Helen Calvert. I'm a coach, a business owner and a parent, and I'm so happy to be here with you. I do swear occasionally, as the title suggests, so pop in your headphones if I'm not safe for little ears. Ready to go? Let's do this. Hello, welcome to this episode, which is entitled I Hear You, our relationship with our mind. Oh, this is a good one, isn't it? This might be the one I struggle with a tiny bit because my self-talk about my mind is not always kind. I do tend to refer to my brain as a bit of a shit at times. How many of us feel like our brain is against us? It's not working with us. Let's talk about that relationship, our relationship with our mind. Over on my YouTube channel, The No Bullshit Blend, which I co-host with psychotherapist Carol Nesbitt, there is a video about mental chatter, negative thought patterns. Well worth a watch if you don't know too much about identifying the different thoughts that we all have that crop up and that fill our brains. That could be an interesting watch for you. Have you heard the phrase, we are not our thoughts? Very important thing to remember. Thoughts come, they go, they float in, they float out, they do not define us. However, they do contain important messages. So are we able to listen? Because so often we try to suppress, don't we? Or avoid, or ignore, or numb, or drown out. Are we able to listen to the messages our thoughts are trying to deliver? We have our fears, our worries, our anxieties, all of those thoughts bubbling up from our unconscious mind, our prehistoric mind, the ancient part of ourselves that just wants safety and belonging. Very, very simple part of us that will throw up all kinds of concerns until we learn how to soothe it and prove to it that we are safe, no matter what it is we're trying to do. No matter how important the exam or how urgent the deadline or how scary the public speaking opportunity, we are safe. It's just trying to check that with us, but it throws up all kinds of niggles and worries and concerns and what ifs, until we can somehow send it the message, it's okay. I know what I'm doing. Our judgments, our resentments, our irritations, all that stuff that whirls around in a big red and black mess in our heads. That's our boundaries and our values and our needs. Messages about those things, explaining to us what our boundaries are, what our values are, what our needs are, telling us when they've been breached or broken or haven't been met. Can we hear those messages, or do we just hear the I hate her, I hate him, I hate that, I don't like the other, I'm jealous of? Is that all we hear? Or can we hear a little bit deeper and hear what we're actually trying to tell ourselves, which is that we need things and we value things, and some things go against our values, and sometimes we might need to show up for ourselves a little bit. All the things we label as silly and ridiculous, I'm being stupid, it's just nonsense, I don't know why I feel this way. Yeah, you do. It's your younger self, it's your inner child. Of course they're silly, they're 7, but they're always with us. They don't go anywhere. We've just grown around them. So what are they trying to tell us? Is there some stuff we need to process that they went through that we have steadfastly ignored, and at some point we're going to have to face up to? Otherwise they're going to keep sending us these messages that feel silly and stupid and nonsensical, but they make sense to our little selves. Our thoughts convey really vital information about what we need to work on and process and what we need in the moment. And problems arise from ignoring our thoughts or from obsessing about them, from treating them as if the thought is the whole thing. You know, our minds will present things to us and they want us to figure out how to deal with them. Now, okay, this could get a little bit philosophical, couldn't it? What is the mind? What is the brain? We're not going to go there. My limited understanding, because there will be proper terms for all of this, but my limited understanding is that there is, let's call it our unconscious mind, you know, which is, as I say, the prehistoric bit of us, the inner child, the bit that's bubbling below the surface. That's the bit that presents stuff to us. Here's some thoughts. And then it's our conscious mind, our adult selves, if you like, that is expected to deal with it. And if we suppress, then we're not hearing it. And if we obsess, then we're not really hearing it either, because we're taking it at face value. We're taking the message of, what if I fall flat on my face on the stage? We're taking that as the whole thing. Whereas, of course, the actual message is, I don't feel safe doing this. I need to feel safer. What can I do to help myself to feel more confident about what I'm going to do? What do I need to have planned in for afterwards? How will I manage if I trip up on stage? What will I do to make that less awful? What shoes will I wear to maybe stop that from happening? You know, there's all kinds of messages bound up in that concern. So what's the message? What is the unmet need? What boundary of yours has been breached? Do you need love? Do you need reassurance? Are your thoughts telling you that you need to show up for yourself? Are they telling you that you need to forgive yourself? You know, sometimes when our thoughts are shouting at us, I can't believe you did that, you're so stupid. Well, that's not the message. The message is, my word, we need to forgive ourselves for some stuff, past, present and future, by the sounds of it. What can we hear if we actually listen? Again, this is very much about tuning out everybody else. Not just the sounds around us, but the sounds from our past, all the messages, all the voices, tuning it all out and listening to ourselves. What are you trying to tell you? Glennon Doyle refers to it as our knowing. And if you go back to my episode entitled Going Deeper, I talk about some of the tools in our toolkit for helping ourselves to listen to our thoughts. Things like hypnosis and floating and meditation. There's loads of ways of going deeper. You'll know which is the one for you. But that's why we do it. That's why some people choose to do these things, because they really want to get down to their knowing. They really want to hear the messages underneath their thoughts. What is it that we are trying to tell ourselves? Now, we do have a little mindset block alert for this episode, because it can feel really scary, especially if you haven't done it before or haven't done it for a while, because we're scared of what we might find, aren't we, if we actually listen? Oh my goodness, what if I listen to myself and find out that unbeknownst to me, I've been a wannabe axe murderer all these years? It's not going to happen. It's okay. But we're scared. And that's understandable, because if you haven't been down there in a while, if you haven't climbed down into the basement of your thoughts and had a rummage around in all the old boxes, you know, it's going to be a mess down there. It's going to be a total mess. And it's going to be pretty desperate for your attention. So the unconscious mind being what it is, not very smart, it might start throwing some drama your way. It might. We can call these intrusive thoughts, scary thoughts. You know, if we sit for a bit and try and listen to our knowing and we haven't listened for a while, it's going to have a tantrum. It's going to throw some shit at us. Oh, maybe actually you're this, maybe you're the other, maybe you don't want that, maybe you should get divorced, close your business, move to, you know, Azerbaijan, whatever. It's going to come up with all kinds of drama. And that's okay. That's okay. Because again, listen to the message. The message is, you haven't been down here in a while. We really need your attention. Just let it run its drama. What's the true knowing underneath? What's the real message? Can you listen? Can you accept what you're hearing? But can you listen? Do you hear yourself? And how powerful to finally be heard by yourself, especially if you've lived a life where you're not really heard or you haven't really been heard. And again, it's an exercise in learning how to trust ourselves, trust what we do know. And it's a journey like everything I've been talking about. None of this is going to happen in an afternoon. You're not going to sit down this afternoon and think, right, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to myself. What can I hear? And it's all going to come up and be clear, and you're going to journal a couple of pages and life's going to be transformed. I mean, give it a go. Let me know if that does happen. But it's unlikely. It is a process. It is getting used to listening. What is the message? And tuning out all that other noise from other people will help you to stop judging. Because so often we don't really listen because we're too busy judging. Oh, well, maybe the message is that I need more sleep. Well, I've had plenty of sleep. Why do I need more sleep than other people? I'm so lazy. Oh, there we go. Off on the judgment curve. We're not listening. Listen. You need more sleep. Okay. Maybe do that then. And then have a listen to what comes up next when you've had some more sleep. What happens if we just hear ourselves and pay attention and accept without judgment? So, as I say, I realise this can sound quite scary. It can also sound very weird and like kind of different and a bit out there. And that's partly because I can't really tell you what you're going to find because I only know how to listen to myself. You'll be pleased to know I can't read minds, actually. So I'm not able to listen to what you're telling yourself. That's the whole point. Nobody else can. So it's a real gift to hear ourselves, because no matter how well heard we feel by other people, no one else can really hear us because they're not actually inside our heads, which is a good thing. I think we can all agree. But let's see if we can listen to what is being said. And let's find out what difference it makes when we do that. It is absolutely another form of showing up for ourselves. It goes hand in hand with the last episode about seeing our bodies and hearing our minds and really getting to know ourselves. And it's all part of building up that wonderful relationship with ourselves where we can love ourselves for who we are, regardless of what we find in the basement of our brain and what we see when we look in the mirror. So I would be thrilled to hear what you think. I'm always thrilled to hear what you all think of these episodes. You can always leave a comment on the relevant episode on my website or contact me via the show notes. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And until next time, please be excessively kind to yourselves no matter what you find when you start listening. And let's squeeze every last drop of enjoyment out of life. Speak to you next time. Thank you so much for listening. Did you know that my first book is now available to purchase online? Check out the show notes for details of how to get your hands on a copy. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could leave me a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are up. If you would like to work with me one-to-one or follow more of my content, you can find out how in the show notes. See you next time.